Hello everyone, welcome to Back the Basics here. Today we'll be covering sine law and how to apply it to a question. So we use sine law when we have a pair or like an angle and its corresponding side, and when we do not have a right angle triangle. So we can use sine law, for example, in this case, when we know the angle A, which is 42 degrees, and its corresponding side length, which is lowercase a is equal to 12 units. Now we can solve for the missing angle, which is angle B and angle C and side length C. But of course, we're going to start simple and simply solve for angle B. Now, the two formulas that we will be using here are these two over here. Algebraically, you can rearrange one to suit for the other, and I will show you how. So let's say we want to get from here to here. So then it will be A, or side length A, is equal to over sine A is equal to B over sine B. So we would multiply this side by sine A, multiply this side by sine A. So these two divide out. So you're left with A is equal to B times sine A divided by sine B. Now you'll multiply this side by sine B. So then you'll multiply the other side by sine B. These two divide out. So you're left with sine B times A is equal to B times sine A. I'll just put brackets here for clarity. So now you would divide this side by A and then this side by A. These two A's divide out. So you're left with sine B is equal to side length B times sine A divided by A. And then now here you would divide the right side by B, or if you're more fancier, you can multiply it by its reciprocal. So then it would just simply divide B out here. You multiply this side by the reciprocal. So you're left with sine B over B is equal to sine A over A. So now this formula is equivalent to this one over here. Let's actually apply this formula to an actual problem. So we're trying to solve for the missing side length of B, and we already have we have a pair. So we have an angle plus its corresponding side, so we can use sine law. So to make your life obviously a lot easier, you want to have the missing variable in the numerator of the fraction. So what I mean is, instead of using this one, the one at the top, we'll use the one at the bottom, or the formula at the bottom. So it's sine angle A over side length A is equal to sine angle B over side length B. And we don't include C is simply because we don't have enough information for it, and we obviously don't want to make our lives too complicated. So we're just going to do and solve for one missing variable instead of solving for three at a time, which is obviously really hard and unreasonable. So let's isolate for our angle B. So you multiply this by B, multiply this side by B. These two B's cancel out. So you're left with B times sine angle A over side length A is equal to sine angle B. Now to isolate for B over here, because we're not done yet, you'll simply just take its inverse. So whoops, draw better B. So B times sine A over side length A is equal to angle B. Now, a quick tip is to know if you did your algebra correct. If it's this fraction within the bracket, if it's greater than or equal to -1 or less than or equal to 1, that means you did your rearranging correct. So what I mean is try sine inverse 1 of 2. Try to put that into your calculator, and what do you get? So I'll do it for mine. I get a calculation error. And you can even do this for sine inverse of -2. Try to put that into your calculator and then see what message you get. Well, you get an error. So this is a great way to know whether you are doing your algebra correctly or not. Now let's just place in the variables. So side length B is 13. 13 times sine 42 over 12. Now putting all of this into your calculator, you should get an answer of 46 degrees. Now, you always want to have this in degree mode for your calculator when you're putting in these numbers, or else if you're in radians, which is another unit of measurement for angles, you won't get 46 degrees. So make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Now, let's solve for another problem over here. So first, I'm going to label the triangle. So this will be A, B, C. So now this side will be lowercase b, this side will be lowercase c, and this side will be lowercase a. Now, let's see which pairings we have. We have angle B, which is 61 degrees, and we have side length, lowercase b, which is 23 meters. So that is one pairing, so we can use sine law. Now, we're trying to find for all the missing sides and angles. Well, a really easy angle, which is angle A, we can solve for is essentially A is equal to 180 minus 101 minus 61 degrees, which A will give us 18 degrees. So we can easily just fill in 18 over here. Now, let's solve for side length A and side length B. Now, let's not do this all at once. We can just pick two ratios and solve for. So let's see over here. Now, our missing variables are the side lengths, which they should be in the numerator, so we can use this formula over here. So now this is just A over sine angle A is equal to B over sine angle B. Now you don't want to put C in for this spot over here. The reason why is that we don't have enough information to solve and help us to solve for side length A. We only have enough information to put in for B. So let's simply just isolate for side length A. So you would just multiply this side by sine angle A, multiply this side by sine angle A. So these two divide out. So now you're left with A is equal to B times sine angle A over, or divided by sine angle B. Now putting in all your numbers, you're left with A is equal to B, which is 23, times sine 18 degrees divided by sine 61 degrees. So side length A is equal to 8.1 meters. Now we do the same thing for C. So side length B over sine angle B is equal to side length C over sine angle C. Now we isolate for our side length C. So you will multiply sine angle C, multiply it by sine angle C. I'll just put a divider here. So these two divide out. Now you're left with sine angle C times B divided by sine angle B is equal to side length C. Now, inputting all your numbers in, which is sine 101 degrees, multiply by 23, divided by sine 61 degrees, that will give us 26 meters. Or if you're rounding, it will just be, or if you want more exact values, it will be 25.81 meters. It's equal to C. Now you can obviously write your therefore statement. Therefore, side A is equal to 8.1 meters, and side C is equal to 25.8 meters. Thank you for listening, and you can try out these questions over here. Have a wonderful day.